Hello, everybody. If you'd like to know a little bit about what April holds in store for you personally, I do offer several different levels of astrological service. All of these are available to schedule through the astrological services page of my website. You can schedule with me through the link that you'll find above. In addition, if you're interested in learning Vedic astrology yourself, I have an online academy, VedicAstrologyAcademy.com. You can find a link to that site right here.
Okay. So here's the next factor we need to go into. So Parashara says next, that Lord being Yuva or Prabhuda, which means Jagrat, standing in the royal place, or Kumara. So we're going to understand what all that means now. Okay. So Yuva and Kumara planets strengthen their indication. We're going to learn what those are here in a moment. Bala planets can create their agenda when assisted by other planets that are either Yuva, Kumara, own house, Mula Trikona, or exalted, which is when they'll be Jagrat. So for those of you who are watching this on video, you don't know what these things are yet. So we'll explain those here in a bit. A Jagrat planet strengthens its indications, which is why we have the Prabhuda awake or Jagrat thing. Okay? A planet in the 10th Rashi can manifest its indications, even if it's debilitated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? By the 10th Rashi, we mean the 10th equal house. So we wouldn't say a planet in the, let's go to Shadamsha. All right, we wouldn't say a planet in Aries that's debilitated. Saturn in Aries couldn't, create its indications just because it's conjuncting the 10th cusp. We don't mean the cusp, we mean the equal house. Okay? Not the cusp. All right. So we need to learn what Yuva and Kumara are first. And we need to learn what Bala is as well. And we'll come back to understanding why Bala planets can create their agenda when assisted by other planets. Okay. So the Balaadi and Jagradati Avastas, which is what we're going to go into next. So amongst other things, the Balaadi and Jagradati Avastas are indicative of how productive a planet can be in the horoscope. We're going to start with the Balaadi Avastas. Balaadi Avastas are simply determined by the degrees of a planet in the Rashi that it's in. Balaadi Avastas must be determined in each individual Varga chart based upon their degree within that particular Varga chart. Okay, for the sake of talking about odd and even Rashis below, the odd Rashis are Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. And even Rashis are Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces. Okay, so Bala Avasta means infant. So when a planet is between 0 to 6 degrees of an odd Rashi, or 24 to 30 degrees of an even Rashi, it's Bala. So let's see if we have any Bala planets here. We do. We have the moon, which is between 24 and 30 degrees of an even sign, which makes it Bala. Okay, so Bala planets are infant. Okay, so Bala means an infant. The things which the individual is engaging with are not things with which they are fully adept. Say, for instance, an infant needed to play the guitar. Chances are, unless they are a born virtuoso, that they are not going to be able to do so. Even then, their fingers would likely be too small to do so adeptly, so they are going to need some assistance. Such is the case with Bala Avastas. They are not fully adept with the lessons of either the planet. We can leave this bit out for the sake of this course. They're not fully adept with the lessons of the planet. You can tell I've done some copying and pasting. There we go. So they need some assistance. And the types of planets to assist them are planets that are Yuva or Kumara. So they need an adult to help them, or somebody who's a little older than them, or somebody who's confident, or very radiant with its capacity to do so, which is going to make them very awake. And they can then help the infant to do things. Okay? Kumara, or youthful Avasta. That's when you have a planet between 6 to 12 degrees of an odd Rashi, or 18 to 24 degrees of an even Rashi. Such as here in the case of the Sun, which is in an odd Rashi, and it's at 11 degrees, so it's between 6 to 12 degrees of Leo. So that makes the Sun Kumara. Okay, so as Parashara is saying here, Yuva and Kumara planets strengthen their indications as a general rule. We're going to learn some exceptions further on down the line, though. So Kumara can strengthen its indications, as can the next one that we're going to learn, which is Yuva. Yuva means adult. So when a planet is between 12 to 18 degrees of an odd or even Rashi, it's Yuva. Okay, so in that instance, the planet can equally strengthen the indications of what it rules. So these particular factors strengthen the indications of what the planet rules. It's a different role for Karakas. We'll get into that later on. For Karakas, you don't need to look at it being Yuva or Kumara. You just need to look at the dignity. If you're looking at a planet ruling a house or a house cusp, you need to look at the Balaadi Avasthas, and equally the Jagradati Avasta when we get to that. Okay, so Yuva and Kumara planets strengthen their indications. So we're going to learn the rest of the Avastas here too, and we'll come back to those. Okay? Pardon me. So when a planet is between 18 to 24 degrees of an odd Rashi, or 6 to 12 degrees of an even Rashi, then that planet is going to be Vritta, or old. Okay? Such as in the case here of Saturn. Saturn here is between 6 and 12 degrees of an even sign, so that makes him Vritta. If you learn this rule, you'll be able to look and find these in the chart without bringing up your little thing here. Okay? So then when a planet is between 24 to 30 degrees of an odd Rashi, or 0 to 6 degrees of an even Rashi, it's Mrta, or dead. So Vritta means old, Mrta means dead. Okay? So let's see if we have any dead planets here. We've got Mars. Mars is between 24 to 30 degrees of Aquarius, which is an odd Rashi. So that makes it Mrta. Mercury's here in Pisces, where it's between 0 to 6 degrees, which equally makes it Mrta. Okay. So let's go over each of these. So, okay. Grahas have the most impact when they are in the Yuva adult Avasta, at which point the karmic consequences indicated by the planet are fully active. Grahas have the least impact when they are in Mrta, or dead Avasta, at which point the karmic consequences indicated by the planet have been exhausted. Any questions before we proceed? Okay, so we're going to go over what each of these mean. Okay, so Bala Avasta we read already. Kumara Avasta, as Kumara means adolescent or youthful, these planets are quite capable of being productive, but they are prone still to making mistakes. Yuva Avasta, this is mature or adult. This is the stage where our talents reach their peak. Yuva planets are at their most productive in terms of the Balaadi component of our calculations. Vritta Avasta means old. So as we get older, though we have skills, we are not able to engage them with the same level of energy. Our strength begins to wane. So Vritta planets are less likely to be productive. Mrta Avasta means dead. So I've jokingly put here, when you're dead, you're adept at one thing, which is being dead. So Mrta planets, in terms of the Balaadi component of strength, are not able to be productive. But if they are also awake, then they are. But they would be so to a lesser degree from the analogy that they would only be an influencing spirit upon the event. Okay, so a planet that's Jagrat and Mrta can create some problems later on down the line.